Welcome back to the workshop. This is going to be a short series of videos on the manufacture of the Lathe spindle indexer, which I briefly touched upon a couple of videos ago. It may or may not surprise you to know that this is my third attempt at making this video. For various reasons, mostly down to my incompetence with the router and the implementation of G-code from Fusion 360, because I haven't used it for quite a while. I've messed up an awful lot of material and it's cost me an arm and a leg to replace it. I've got another piece on the way, should be here in a couple of days. Of the thin stuff, but my last piece of 10mm thick perspex is sitting right there on the router table, ready for me to make great gouges in it. So let's head over there and see what happens. Here we are over at the router table. Some of my problems have been of my own making, I suppose, in being unable to return constantly to what I think is probably hidden from view, the corner of the workpiece here, which I usually set as the 00 XY position. Being unable to return to that consistently accurately. So what I've decided to do is use the inbuilt fixed 00, of which the software has 1, 2, 3, 8 or 9, and this is the most southwesterly one, if you like, south being down this way, north up that way. And when you tell it to return to the southwest position, it always comes back to this same spot. So I'm using that as a 00, and I'm measuring the corner of the workpiece from there in the Y direction and from there across to this edge for the X direction, and in effect I'm using a virtual piece of workpiece which comes down to this corner. I'm all set up to do the engraving. First off, I'm going to do the engraving for the vernier plate, which is a shorter, much shorter piece of programming G-code, and it'll come across to here. I'll swing the camera around in a minute so we can see what's going on. In fact, I'll do that now while I think about it. So hold on to your hats. And well, without any more ado, I'll press go. Sorry, forgot to warn you about the noise. I'm just going to reach in and have a look, but that's pretty bloody awful again. It's gone in too deep. I don't know why. I'll go back and check the G code. and again. Oh, it's done it. Not very pretty, but it's done it. Quite why it felt the need to spot the little bits on the end, I don't know, but wow, that's over. Now to do some routing out of the profiles. Just a wee bit of preamble before I start the next one. On some previous cuts, it failed to go right through the depth of the material. I couldn't for the life of me work out why, but in a rare moment of near genius, I checked when it got to the bottom of the Z-axis, and blow me down if the tool wasn't down far enough, so I've had to lower the actual router in the cradle so that it will now cut right the way through the material. First off, I'm going to be boring out some of the holes for the vernier plate, and I'll explain in a minute when I finish that some slight changes I've made to the design. That's it if it all works out alright. Sorry, anyway, I pressed the wrong button. Here we go, more noise. rust off, and well, you won't be able to see it, and not sure whether that's come out as I planned or not. Let's go in. Well, that came out as originally designed. What I had done is, instead of having these as circular location holes, I'd made them radially displaced by 1mm either way, so that if there was any radial mismatch in the two plates, the top one will be the registration hole, and sliding the pin in there meant that any radial misalignment would be taken up by the hole there, but didn't work out like that. Ho hum, never mind, that'll work maybe. New file loaded, and hopefully this will cut out the contour. Oh, my poor ears. Well, that's done. And you probably saw it bobbing up and down doing the tabs. So that's gone all the way through, I'm glad to say. I just got to hoover up somewhat. And I'll come back and do the other contours. I'm about to start cutting out the inner contour, then it'll swap to the outer contour, after which I shall check the inner dimension, because on my first run it cut slightly under size. It also says that it's going to take approximately 60 minutes. I hope that's not right, but lucky you, it won't be for long. Right, well, you probably saw the middle bit jump as the final cut knocked it off its tabs, so I'm just going to whip that out. Oh, that took a long while. However, I've paused it now because I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. My wife tells me it's getting cold, and when I come back out it'll do the outside contour. Phew. Well, that seems to have worked okay. Let me just check the internal diameter. That's 125.2, which is just about what I was shooting for. Right, take it over to the bench, break those two out, and we'll see how we're looking. Back at the bench then. Well, this is going to turn out. The engraving on here hasn't come out marvellously, but it did break out quite nicely. The engraving on here is somewhat better. I seem to recall it comes up better on the video than it does on the viewfinder. So there we are. That's those. That sits in there. I'm going to break off all the tabs and just clean those up a bit. But the acid test is whether this will fit on the chuck. So I'll carry you over to the lathe, which is not very far, fortunately. And oh look, I've left the chuck jaws out. Alright, chuck jaws in. I've been around the inside and just deburred it, and the acid test now. So I'm not lining it up, but it should. Oh yeah, slide over the chuck. It won't go over the chuck key adjusters, but that fits on there, and that means it will fit where it's supposed to on the spindle flange. So that's good. You can probably see the engraving a little better now. But it's considerably better than the engraving on here. I mean, you can just about make it out, and it's good enough for now. That fits in there, and my previous aborted attempts, you see I managed to drag the cutting tool right the way across, because I didn't alter the Z height, and that will go on that bit there. But I've got another piece of this coming, as I say, later in the week, and when that comes I'll cut that out. I am amassing quite a bit of that was a practice engraving, which annoyingly came out better than the actual one itself, but there we go. Practice makes perfect. Not in my case. Okay, well, till the next bit of Perspex arrives in a couple of days, I can't do any more on the router, but I hope you managed to follow what was going on. With a bit of nifty editing and speeding up, I think I've shot through that and not bored you too long. And I'm going to finish this section now and go back inside, because it's minus freezing to death out here. Anyway, if you have been, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next part. Bye.